When you look at game one for Bam, it was a lot of stuff out of the high pick and roll with Tyler Hero. It was kind of dominating his matchup one on one with lesser talent in the front court for Philly. When you look at game two and just look at the way he kind of dissected and played a really pretty perfect game on both sides of the ball, it was allowing others to create for him. It wasn't just him going at lesser talents like DeAndre Jordan and Paul Millsap, who didn't play in this game, or Georges Niang. It was just playing to his strengths and letting the other guys create gravity either on the perimeter or in the inside. So I just want to go through some of the possessions that Bam just really thrived on and show why this is going to be so important moving forward. I guess just specifically in other matchups when there's equal playing field in terms of playing a Boston, Milwaukee, and not, or maybe even a Joel Embiid. Like you want to see this type of consistency right here. Jimmy Bam pick and roll, never usually super effective because a lot of times what they're going to do is they're going to go under the screen. It ends up in a kick out and you're kind of resetting. It just never is one of their most effective sets. But right here, what you see is that early on, they were going over the screen on Jimmy. Tyrese Maxey was going to be trailing him. Bam sets a good screen. He angles it. Now it's a little bit of a 2-on-1. Jimmy does a good job of, he sees DeAndre Jordan here. What is he going to do? He's not going to sit here and mess around. He's going to take his time and kind of just play with his food a little bit just to get him to move so now he can feed Bam. He gives the one pump fake, two pump fake. Now he comes up, and now Bam gets an easy dunk right in the dunker spot. He's just sitting there, planting there. And that's what it comes down to. Next one, handoff for Max Strus. He's going to go over on that, obviously. DeAndre Jordan turns his body at Max Strus because he's watching. Now look at the room Bam has. Bam has a complete runway. DeAndre Jordan cannot step up there and recover in that way. Now Bam, as we see right here, had a pretty highlight dunk, goes up with the left hand, dunks over the top. The reason that's important is because both of those two, it's not just them setting up running sets for Bam. Like right here, I'm going to show an instance where that works, but he's just waiting, playing as the role man and allowing others to create for him, which has basically always been his mindset because he's such an unselfish player. But here, they insert right at the elbow. Now it's, okay, we're going to send Max Strus through the middle, get him to clear out, not let Maxey help, and we're going to let Bam go to work on DeAndre Jordan because he can't stick with him. He's going to turn. Max Strus goes through. Harden's forced to help down. He gives him a shake, get drives, hits an and one down low. The reason that's important is just because, for one, this is a movement offense that just constantly can eliminate help throughout an offense. But when you have a mismatch on the floor like that, where you have DeAndre Jordan that far away from the basket, you have to attack it. And you have to make them feel the fact that they have him on the floor and exploit the weaknesses. Now, another one, Jimmy coming down the floor, Jimmy Bam pick and rolls we talked about. Now, this is when they started getting back to their base. So you're not going to go over on Jimmy screens for too long. And that was just kind of maybe an adjustment, but it was just kind of playing and going over in the time of the pick and roll. Right here, now they know what they're doing. At the three-point line specifically, they're going to go under. Tobias Harris fights through. It's kind of a late switch. DeAndre Jordan faced over on Jimmy Butler, who's right on that right box. Once again, there's no recovery here. There's just absolutely no recovery for this because obviously he's already facing that way. Now he has to turn around and look at the room Bam has. When he has an open floor in transition, we know what Bam could do. But more importantly, when he has an open floor in the half court on the short roll, that's when you want to see Bam kind of as the attacker, the scorer, the aggressive player on the floor. Right here, he gets it. Doesn't get too far because DeAndre Jordan turns. Now he can throw the floater over the top. And he nets it. That's a shot that he works on constantly, right in the middle of the floor, just kind of feeding it inside and throwing it over the top. Now, running sets through Bam Adebayo. James Harden's on. They got some switches because Paul Reed's on the floor. Right here, they're going to feed it over to Max Strus, who comes off a screen. PJ was kind of annoyed watching during the game because he felt like he was open on this slip, and PJ does not take any play lightly. So as I go back one more time, PJ slips. He's open. They have two on the ball. They recover. Now it's a pick and roll with Bam and Strus. What's going to happen here? It's just a really poor decision in general. I don't really understand the idea. I said this on Twitter when it happened, why they're doubling here. Like, I understand the shooter that Max Strus is and the attention that he provides. But the idea to fully blitz out on this type of shot is just not really where you want to go with this. Now he goes over. James Harden's there as well. Now he can feed it inside, gets the spot on the floor he wants, and he gets a bucket in traffic. Like, we could sit here and talk about Bam. Yes, he's better than DeAndre Jordan or Paul Millsap or whatever, Paul Reed or whatever big Philly has to offer in games 1 or 2. But the reason it works is because he allows others to create for him. He allows others to put him in his spots to be able to be effective. And this goes for whatever matchup. This goes for if Joel Embiid's back in game 3. This is the way they need to go. It's still going to be drop coverage. Yes, it's a much better defender down low. But they're going to have to go at this team and the weaknesses. And where the weaknesses are, it's with Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo, and they just cannot get away from it.